This is the Headshot Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Shondell Thomas. I'm sitting here with Savon Gibson, Senior,
Yes,
of Savon Gibson Senior Financial, right?
Gibson Financial Planning.
Gibson Financial Planning. He is a financial planner, entrepreneur, uh, philanthropist, father,
Yeah.
husband,
Yeah.
and just all around great guy. What's
Yes,
going
sir.
on, man?
Hey, I'm blessed and won't stress, my brother.
Hey, I appreciate you coming and sit down with me, man, so we
Yeah,
can
for
talk
sure.
about, finances, what we need to know, our do's and our don'ts, and
Yeah.
just life in general, man.
Hey, I appreciate you having me,
Yeah.
bro.
So what brought you to the world of financial planning?
I grew up broke.
Mm.
I grew up broke, and for whatever reason, I always had an eye for Wall Street.
Okay.
I admired Wall Street, everything about it. The 9 to 5 work schedule, the suits, the intensity and understanding and knowing numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I found out that buying into the stock market gave you ownership into companies,
Yeah.
and these are the companies that we utilize every day.
Yeah.
So, and math was my favorite subject too. So
Okay.
that led me down that direction.
Got you. So when you started on that journey, what were some of the things that you discovered that was, beyond being able to own
Yeah.
portions of companies? What were some of the things that you discovered, or what else did you discover?
It was just knowing and understanding wealth.
Yeah.
The people, most of the time when I looked into the financial industry, the people that was there that worked in the financial industry had wealth
Mm-hmm.
in some sort of fashion. As I got older, I also realized and understood it wasn't a lot of us there.
Yep.
I didn't grow up around anyone that had the financial wisdom as such individuals, and I didn't see it on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
So then the inquiry became, where are we at in this industry?
Yep. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I see a lot of us as entertainers, as athletes, as news broadcasts, and all of this,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see us here.
Yep.
So as I got older, that's when the wheels started spinning. That why ain't we here, and how can I get here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I found out that at the time, and this was in the early 2000s, late 1990s, we only made up 8% of the financial industry as a whole, African Americans.
Now, when you say makeup of, and what part of those logistics are we talking about?
The financial industry.
I got you. Okay.
Accountants.
Okay, got you.
Finance, anything in the career of finance.
Yeah.
Stock market, accountants, wealth management, financial advisors, just that whole spectrum of the financial industry.
Yeah.
African American minorities made up 8%.
That's crazy, and which kind of adds to that whole deficiency, because there's nobody that we can trust in those industries. So therefore, and
Sure.
when representation isn't there, we don't step in that direction to
Right.
ask questions,
Yeah.
or anything like
Yeah.
that. So, at what point on your journey did you start to discover that there were the section or demographic of people that are in the industry? What did you find out about those individuals?
Just like most careers in life, we were the few, and we got to work twice as hard with the least amount of reward. So as I got deeper into it after high school, going into college, and diving into the sector and the industry of financial planning, the 8% went down to less than 2%.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you think people jump ship and change paths, or?
It's not even jump ship or change path. it's a strenuous avenue, and there's a lot of requirements first and foremost. Uh, but it's math too. A lot of times, and me being a facilitator for entrepreneur classes, when we start talking numbers, people, oh man,
That's the
we,
truth.
we run away from our numbers.
We do. We do.
So there's very few, just period, regardless of your background, that like to deal with numbers.
Yeah.
So it's one of those fields. But like you said, I believe representation is necessary when our annual income is over $1 trillion a year, and as consumers we spending over $1 trillion a year, then we have to be represented on this side as well, not just the spending side, but the management side of it as well.
Yeah. So I think, me being a black man, having not grown up in a household who talked a whole lot about finances and talked a whole lot about investing and saving. We talked about saving, but when my mama talked about saving, it was more so you put that money in that savings account. It wasn't savings in terms of long-term savings, no high yields or we didn't know anything about any of that. You know what I mean? And what's interesting to me is my mom, for years, she sold insurance.
Yeah.
At a high level.
For sure.
But we still didn't, it was always surface level conversations.
Yeah.
So I think that's where where we fall short. You know what I mean?
And another thing too, what I say a lot, our parents raised us to survive.
Yeah.
It's our job to raise our children to thrive, right? But even back then, they educated us to the level in which they knew.
Yeah.
Like you said, my mom told us, hey, when you get paid, make sure you save a third of your paycheck. And it was for emergency. It wasn't saving it for the long term and then doing this, and you had life insurance to bury you.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't diving into how life insurance can create generational wealth, and you can pass over funds to the little ones and everything else, So they educated us into the level in which they knew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I hate that. So even when it comes to talking about like the insurance, right?
Right.
The term versus the whole, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She sold insurance, but she didn't dive too much into,
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was for right now. You know
That's
what I mean?
It was a career. It was a 9 to 5 that kept food on the table. It wasn't let me invest my whole into this so that I have a full, complete understanding of this and how we can maximize this opportunity to the ones behind us.
Yeah. When I think back, man, so my mom used to get us these savings bonds.
Yeah.
Every check it'd be $100, and for me and my baby sister, right, $100 for years.
Yeah.
And I think about that, I'm like, you could have did a whole life insurance. We talking about she might have saved these bonds over the course of 20 years.
Yeah.
If she would have got a whole life insurance policy over the course of 20 years, that's one, we would probably still have that policy even after she passed away.
I mean, not only that, but just imagine if she did life insurance plus the employee sponsor plan where they match, and plus something outside of there. IRA, a retirement account or something, just to diversify her portfolio. You guys could have had money coming in for life.
Man, when we think about it, and how many families do we know that have been in that position, man? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm seeing more and more of my elders that are retiring
for sure
from nice jobs who, I mean, and retiring with nice lump sums, but they just have that lump sum.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Because that's where we was educated at back then. That was the level in which the financial knowledge they had to succeed. You get your life insurance policy, you pay into your 401k. Mentally, that was the financial level in which we reached. We didn't feel as if, hey, I have enough money to minimize my monthly expenses and save more for not only my retirement, but something to pass on to the kids as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I said, we was surviving back then. So we was living for the moment. But now that we're the elders, we're the seniors, we're able to expand that knowledge and say, not only can I have a life insurance policy, not only can I pay into my employee sponsor plan, but I could have 3 different investment avenues outside of my employer to not only make sure my kids are good, but to educate my children on how we're moving, what we're doing.
That's real talk.
And now that we got the 21-year-olds, now that our kids are stepping into that young adult life, we already passing on that knowledge of make sure you're doing this. Get you an extra account right here. Set you up a life insurance policy. You know?
Yeah.
And those are some of the things I teach my clients is, because like you said, even growing up, we didn't know how much our parents made.
Right.
We didn't know what the monthly expenses was.
Right.
I tell my clients now, hey, show them what you bring in every 2 weeks. Show them what you make annually. And also show them what those monthly bills look like.
Yeah.
So they can see, okay, wow, you bringing in 6, you bringing in 8, you bringing in $10,000 a month. Okay, but these monthly expenses is $5,000 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think those conversations are very important because I did come up in a time where if you ain't paying no bills, you don't got no business in this conversation. But that was so wrong, bro. Yeah, that was a detriment to us, man.
For sure.
You know what I mean? That's why you had kids like myself who contested my parents on, well, I know I can step out here and afford that. You know what I'm saying? If you could do that on this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know I can do this. And it's like, but you don't really know what come with it. And we bump our heads so hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So for a generation that is coming into knowledge or seeking knowledge about how to better themselves financially for the future, where's a good starting point to get some information or to get, to kind of, just kind of get abreast on what's available to you?
Right. First and foremost, you have to seek the wisdom and knowledge. You have to understand your network around you. And with social media, that's the biggest newspaper out there.
It sure is.
You know? So you got to ask, hey, who are the financial advisors around me? Who are the financial coaches? And then you have to vet them. Interview each and every one to see if they fit your lifestyle, to see if they fit where you're trying to go. Because everybody's not the same. Everybody's not for everybody.
Right.
So, you have to have an understanding of this is what I need. And you got to have somebody that's going to hold you accountable.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Not nobody's going to say what you want to hear. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's the biggest thing, too. You got to have somebody that's going to hold you accountable. And you have to have somebody that understands you. Understand where you come from and where you're trying to go. Because just like you alluded to not too long ago, you take these young kids that become NFL athletes, not even NFL, college star now with the NIL deals.
Real talk.
They getting the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they just came from the hood. They just came from Section 8. They don't have an understanding of how to move with hundreds of thousands of dollars. They don't understand that, okay, you got $200,000, but you're going to have to pay 40% in taxes.
Real talk, yeah.
You know, they just getting a check for $200,000 and they spending $230,000.
Yep. Almost instantly.
Yeah.
Almost instantly.
Yeah. That money gone before they see it.
Yep.
Because in they mind, I'm going to get another one.
Hey, what they say, spin it and make it right back.
Hey, you hear me? It's that microwave mentality.
Yep.
Put the money in, spin it, I'm going to get it right back, put some more in, spin it.
Yep. But what happens when the culture shifts or a change happens in company policy or we're going in a different direction?
Yeah.
Now you left holding the bag.
Yeah. It's that instant gratification.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the culture right now is convenience.
Yeah.
How can I get it fast? Everything we do is about convenience. and I want it right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to equip ourselves with the knowledge, and put ourselves in position, the people around us,
Mm-hmm.
our circle around us, that's gonna say, slow down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I have a few people I know who kids have went off to college,
Mm-hmm.
going to college, and might have possible 5-figure or 6-figure NIL deals,
Mm.
right? But the lifestyle these children have lived up until this point
Yeah.
is get money, spend it.
Yeah.
This is what they see.
Mm-hmm.
And as parents, we haven't strapped these kids with the necessary knowledge and know-how to say, hey, you about to walk into all this money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, first and foremost, you get this 200,000. This ain't the check you buy your mama a house,
Mm-hmm.
cause you ain't there yet.
Yeah.
You know, this is the check you pay off the car you already got.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go buying the 2024 Benz or the BMW the electric. This ain't the
Right.
this ain't the check for that.
Yeah.
This ain't the go to the Gucci store and ball out check. You know,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and pay your taxes. Set you up some investment account, because you might already have a child.
Mm-hmm. 9 times out of 10.
Get you
Mm-hmm.
some life insurance,
Mm-hmm.
because not even the company going a different way. You can get injured,
Yeah, that's all.
and you
Yep.
never make it to the NFL.
Yep.
But they're not thinking like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and put yourself in position to where, one, you got some money saved up,
Mm-hmm.
you've paid taxes, and building your brand.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, get this knowledge, this education, build a brand, so when the NFL don't happen, or if it do happen,
You can roll into something else.
you already have your brand established to where you're able to have momentum into another avenue, to where you can pivot effortlessly
Yep.
and still bring an income.
Yeah. So like, one of our biggest challenges, as a black people,
Mm-hmm.
is a lot of us never seen that ourselves. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So there's always that dynamic where it's like, for a young person, why am I listening to you when you never been here before? I never seen you
For
with
sure.
XYZ. I never, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That part right there. Or the other part, we don't have the confidence to say, sit your butt down, do this, get this established, because we don't have it established ourselves.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it needs to be a shift in culture. Like, we gotta have those conversations as young and early as possible. That way, it's not a foreign conversation when it does come. You could be able to foster that conversation that says, I know you haven't seen me with this,
Right.
but I can guarantee you that if you don't set yourself up in this way,
Right.
you won't have much very long.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It'll make the conversation easier if you have them frequently and as early
listen.
in life as possible.
So check this out. One of the things I do when I am speaking to the youth, whether it's one-on-one or in my workshops, I start there first. I ask them, how much you spend a month on entertainment? Whether it's hanging out, whether it's clothes, door dashing, smoking, drinking, whatever it is you do, gaming, how much you spend a month on entertainment? They might say $500. Okay, now, I'll be 44 this year. Whatever age how old are you? I'm such and such. Take your age up to my age. If you spent that same amount investing, this is what it'll look like at my age.
Yep.
And it might come out to $190,000. Now they mouth drop. So I done got them in right there, hook, line, and sinker. So I always start with what the future looks like with what you already doing.
Yeah.
You know, because you said it yourself. You spend $500 a month doing this.
Yep.
And you don't have nothing.
Yep.
But if you stop doing this, or even cut this
Cut
in
it in half. That's what I was just thinking.
You know, because I do believe in you work hard, you play hard. Cut it in half. this is what it'll look like at my age.
Yeah.
And now they like, oh. Then I tell them, this is when I turned 30, I started busting this move. So that when I get 65, I guarantee have this, me and my wife, we got this in one of our in our main retirement account. Now we got 6 of them, but our main one will have this amount in it.
Yeah.
And when they see that amount, they say, and I said, but now you can't clown me because I got on some gym shoes from Amazon.
Right.
But you got 7 pair of Jordans in your closet.
That ain't earning you nothing.
Nothing. But I own over 10 stocks, 13 stocks of Nike, over 100 shares of Nike.
Yeah.
And it's making me money every time you buy. But you can start buying shares of these companies to make money in the long term. Stop being a consumer and start being an owner. You know, instead of buying a pair every month, why don't you buy you a pair every other month? And then that other money you take to buy shares into Nike. You know, instead of buying an Apple phone every year, go buy Apple stocks. You know, so it's starting to get their mind going like, oh, okay. And that combats the, well, why I'm supposed to listen to you and you ain't doing it. I'm doing it, you just don't know I'm doing it. Because I don't have to broadcast it. You know, how many times have we been at the stoplight and this old man pull up in the 2024 drop-top Corvette and we like, how he afford this? It's because he was planning for it back in his 20s and 30s. You know, he was living below his means. You know, so that's one of the biggest things that I have to do when I'm talking to our young and our older. Live below your means. You don't have to go to the concert. Okay, your team went to the Super Bowl. You ain't got to go out to LA. That's $4,000-$5,000.
Real talk, bro.
When the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, I heard people was pulling money out of their 401k.
People were. I'm sure they were.
Just to go be in that atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know. Well, if your team went, say you would have went. No, I wasn't. My house, in my man cave, I have a projector and the biggest screen in the world. To go downstairs and watch and enjoy that game. I made my house my kingdom, so I don't have to spend money like that. To go spend $5,000 on, that's not the type of experience I want. Now, don't get me wrong, for some people it's affordable. Some people, you just got it. And I tell people all the time, just because you could buy it don't mean you can afford it. And
break that down.
Come on now.
Break that down.
And a lot of us, like you said, they don't understand that. Just because you got money to go here, and we just keep it on the Super Bowl. Just because you got money to go out to LA and spend this $5,000 doesn't mean you can afford it. The simple fact you had to pull it out of retirement mean you didn't have enough in your savings to do it. And if you did pull it out your savings and it took your savings down to less than 50%, you couldn't afford that. You know, being able to afford something meaning it's not disrupting your everyday functions.
Got you, yeah.
You feel me? It means this money came from somewhere that's already been put aside and everything's still moving fluid in your everyday life. You ain't missing no bills. You ain't robbing Peter to pay Paul. You ain't waiting on your next paycheck. It means you've been financially responsible and disciplined to put money off for those things. You know, my family, we take family vacations. My wife like to vacate. We put money off for that. That don't come out of the house money. That don't come out of our savings money.
Y'all literally setting that to the side.
Yes. You know, for those experiences. So if we said, you know, in 2027, we going to go to the Super Bowl, in my mind, I'm already thinking $8,000 budget that we going to save up. Now, albeit we might go and it might only cost $3,000. It might be $4,000, but we done set aside $8,000 to cover the cost. You know, so it's about being financially disciplined and responsible. You know, a lot of us could buy any and everything,
and we do.
That don't mean we can afford it. You know,
because so essentially what you're saying is you're gonna pay for it on the back end somewhere at some point if you're not projecting right.
That's it. You know, as a culture, Like I said, we spend $1.7 trillion annually.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they saying we have the lowest net worth.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So we make the money because we spend 1.7 trillion.
Yeah.
So that means we got to make at least 1.7 trillion in order to spend it.
Mm-hmm.
But our net worth is at the bottom.
Mm. Don't own nothing.
Come on.
Ain't liquid.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know?
So let me ask you this. So going back to so you got savings,
Yeah.
you got investments.
Yeah.
Right? So what are baby steps towards the bigger picture?
Gotcha.
The generational wealth.
Yeah, for sure. First and foremost is understanding your income.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what you bring in monthly.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what your debts are. Paying off those debts.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, and this might sound redundant, I know everybody say it, but it's the truth. When you can pay off all your debts, life is so much more free.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's understanding your income and understanding, controlling your expenses, your monthly expenses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't need 34 streaming channels.
Yeah.
We don't need Netflix, Hulu, ESPN, Disney.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need all that.
You know what's interesting about that? Now I'll let you get back to your explanation. But we all got rid of cable. Everybody, half of America got rid of cable, but they just doubled down on us and added all this and made us pay double. And then they went in cahoots with each other and they getting residuals. That's crazy, man.
That's it.
So we back up to the $150 a month.
We over it now with all of these different streaming. We over what our cable bill was.
Yeah.
But we cut the cord because it was too much. Mm-hmm. But we replaced it with all these different streaming platforms. Mm-hmm. And then what we say is, oh, well, I got it for the kids. You did get it for the kids because you work all day. Mm-hmm. Then you come home, cook dinner, you be asleep. So you're not even getting TV time.
You ain't even enjoying none of it.
The kids watch YouTube all day for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So what I did, I had one of my clients last summer cut off some of these streaming channels. Mm-hmm. Her kids didn't know for 6 weeks.
That's crazy, ain't it?
And this was during the summertime while they was out of school. They didn't know everything was off for 6 weeks before they said something to her. Now look at this. You spending $117 a month on these 4 or 5 different streaming services.
And they only use one. That's free.
That's it. You know, so what I tell my clients, have a sit down with your kids. Ask them, hey, we got 6 different streaming services. I'm cutting 4 off. Which 2 do y'all want to keep? Mm-hmm. Have them sit down and negotiate what's beneficial for the kids. Mm-hmm. It's not an option. I'm cutting 4 off.
Yeah.
Y'all need to decide what 2 we keeping. Mm-hmm. I bet they'll come to an agreement and be cool with it.
Yeah.
Now you just saved yourself $80, right?
Yeah.
Put that towards the debt to pay that off. Mm-hmm. Understanding credit, you know. How many credit cards I got, how to build my credit, right? Mm-hmm. You use credit cards for bills you already have, not for new bills. Yeah. Not Usher just went on tour so I could get my Usher tickets. Mm-hmm. No, you use your credit cards to get gas because you already getting gas. Mm-hmm. And then you use that credit card at the gas pump where you get rewards at, where you get those cash back points and everything else. Mm-hmm. You know, so now you double dipping on points and rewards and money, right? And then you use it to pay your cell phone bill off, because you already paying these 2 bills. You already paying gas and cell phone bills. You're not creating any new bills, and you utilizing your credit card, so you can continue to have that utilization, showing that you're using it to help your credit score out. And then another thing, a lot of us. We got credit cards we done had for years. Mm-hmm. Now, once have we called and asked them, once a year, you need to call and say, hey, can you increase my credit limit? Right? Mm-hmm. Can you lower my annual interest rate? The worst thing they could say to those answers is no. Mm-hmm. But since you already have a healthy relationship with them, because everything you do in finance is all about relationship. Yeah. you got a healthy relationship with them, they're gonna say, yeah, we can lower it. Yeah, so I guess your credit card, you use it for stuff you already using it for. This gives your utilization, you constantly using it, so it's letting the creditors know, okay, this is a legit customer. And then if you've been with this credit card company for years, once a year, call ask for a credit increase and to lower your interest rate. Anytime you have a relationship with a financial institution, you want it to be just like your personal relationship, healthy, you know. And long as it's a healthy relationship, they'll increase your credit limit, they'll lower your interest rate because you've been a good steward of the funds, you know. And so, like I said, we talked about how to build the generational wealth, understanding your income, controlling your monthly expenses, keeping your credit stable, and then that's how you move over into savings. Your short-term savings, that's emergency. You know, your head gasket just blew on the whip. It's $800 to get fixed. I could tap into these funds. I have them on standby.
Yep.
Your long-term savings. This is where you dumping money into here. You know, this might be you got to get a new roof. You know, okay, it's gonna cost you $12,000 to get a new roof. You've been dumping into this long-term savings, so you got funds over here that's accessible.
Yeah.
You know, still liquid. And then your investments. So those are three different savings avenues. You got your investments. That's your insurance policies. That's your employee sponsor plan. That's your investments outside of your employers. You know, and so something I teach my clients is if you can save up to 30% of your income, that's amazing. Some people got to start at 5%.
Yeah.
If nothing else, we're going to start inside your employer because they match you up to 3%, 5%, 6%, whatever the case may be. So we're going to get that free money first,
Yeah.
you know, and then let's get an understanding. Let's do a financial assessment of those funds that come into the household every month.
Gotcha.
Let's minimize those expenses. And now that we've minimized that, oh, we got $80 right here. Okay, let's make sure we putting some in savings, some in long-term savings, and let's take this other $25 and open another investment account. Well, that's only $25. That's true, but that's $250 a year. And then after that, as they become long-term and as you get the flow of that, what I need you to do is invest by percentage, not income. Don't say I'm gonna invest $50 every month, because if you do that, you're gonna be investing $50 every month for 3 years.
Okay.
But if you say I'm gonna invest 15% of my income, your income gonna go up every year. So that 15% gonna go up every year,
Gotcha.
and that's automatic. You know, so that's one thing we want to do is automate our financial behavior.
Yeah.
That's bills. That's savings, that's investing. If everything is already automated, it gives us our time back because time is your biggest asset.
So when you say automate though, so are you mean just putting yourself on a system to, you know, to assess your spending and your income every month, or actually automate it in terms of putting things on auto pay or everything?
So a thing I do with my clients, I call it the 3rd and 5 rule.
All right.
I use a lot of football terminology. But what you're going to do is every month, you're going to break your expenses down into a third.
Okay.
And you're going to pay them on every day that ends in 5. The 5th, 15th, and 25th. And people say, well, I only get paid twice a month. That's true. That's where financial discipline come in at. It's about a 6-week process. Call all your bill collectors and tell them I need to move this to this date. I need to move this to this. Well, my mortgage is due on the 1st every month. Who said you can't pay it on the 25th? I ain't telling you to pay it late on the 5th. I'm telling you to pay it early on the
Early
25th.
on the 25th. Got you.
You know? So set it up with your bank that it comes out on the 25th every month.
So it does boil down to discipline, man. You know, and I find myself sometimes I slacking. Like I got me a nice spreadsheet that I use.
Yeah.
But there are some months that I'm like, I won't look at it.
Yeah.
But that following month be that month that I'm looking like, hold on, something ain't right because I didn't look back at my checklist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So staying disciplined on that is a huge thing.
That's it. But we stay disciplined on a lot of stuff, right? Let Beyonce come to Cincinnati. We discipline on the drop of those tickets. We discipline on the after parties. We discipline on what Shein, if Shein got a sale or whatever. We discipline when the Jordans drop.
Yeah.
We discipline on what we want to be disciplined on. But we not disciplined on things we need to be disciplined on. You know? So
why do you think, like, what do you think the mindset is behind people who, you know, who don't stay disciplined on those tough things, such as staying on top of their finances and you know what I mean, looking at the spending versus the income?
It's the culture. It's just the mindset. You know, that's how we've been raised. Like you just said earlier, growing up, we didn't have access to this. We wasn't privy to having those financial conversations because that's how our culture was brought up. And we've carried a lot of those generational experiences over. And I ain't going to say generational curses. They are generational experiences. We've carried them over, you know, and we have to improve on that. You know, we just got to get better. We got to strap down and do it. Because a lot of times we make up excuses. Oh, well, I can't do. Oh, I can't do. But if I said, oh, well, I'm giving away $10,000, you will make do. You know, this is our future and this is our kids' future. So we got to bite down and do it. And before you know it, after 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, it's automatic. And you in a system that you like, man, this is real good. Because how many times we done had more months left over than we had money left over.
Right. Yep.
But if you on an automatic system that you know on the 5th, 15th, and 25th, I need to have $1,500 in my account because that's the amount of all my bills, that's going to be in the account automatically because it's already in your head. You on the 13th and 14th, you checking to make sure $1,500 in there because you know them bills coming out on the 15th.
Yep.
And before you know it, you're going to be looking, and it's going to be $3,000 in there. You're like, oh, dang. And it's just rolling. You still getting paid every 2 weeks. Those bills coming out 3 times a month.
Yeah. And I mean, I like what you said, you know, some moments back where you said, you know, we're not saying cut everything out. Maybe cut it in half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta reward yourself in some kind of way. Just a lot of us overindulge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm guilty of it. You know what I'm saying?
We
like
all
I mean, and you know, in full transparency, quite frankly, like sometimes I turn a blind eye to certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you got this over here. That's an obligation. That's a true obligation. But it's like, I want to do this though. You know what I mean?
It goes back to what we was just talking about, the college kid. We look at it like, I'm going to make the money back. I ain't worried about it.
I just take care of it next week, next pay period.
Yeah, that's it, man. And like you said, even because I use myself as an example when I'm talking to people because I want them to know this is what I do. Me and my wife just went to the Black Wine Fest. You know, we treat ourselves. We get out there, we enjoy life, we still do stuff, but we're calculated on the things we do as a couple, as individuals, because I have my fellas time, she has her girls time, and as a family. We do stuff as a family as well. We just, in October, we just took a family cruise.
Okay.
You know, 7 days. That ain't 1 or 2 pennies, you know, but it was planned out. You know, it was an understanding of, hey, this is Christmas, you know, because we told the kids ahead of time, this is the family Christmas present. You know, so when Christmas came around December 25th, they was cool.
Yeah.
They got one or two things, some stuff they needed,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't no 200 boxes under the Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they have an understanding of how we move. We're ushering them into that mentality of you got to be financially responsible first and foremost.
Yeah, and I mean, so y'all also have the philosophy of experience over things.
Yeah, because that lasts forever.
Yeah.
Ask your kid what you bought them for Christmas 3 years ago.
Yeah, now nobody gonna remember that, man. You know what I mean? In fact, most of the stuff that they get, especially young folks, what they get, they fool with for a couple days and then put it to the side. Right. You know what I mean?
All of these kids, these parents out here buying Gucci shoes and all of this over expensive stuff that they can't afford. This child growing out of this stuff.
Or they gonna walk outside and scuff it all up.
That's it. But we gotta prove something to somebody. We gotta keep up with the Joneses, but you barely surviving and getting by. You know, we gotta remove ourselves from that thought process. You know, so you know it's cultural experiences that we continue to carry over.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what's up.
And then point the finger at the government. We blame the last administration, this administration, instead of blaming ourselves. Because like I said, if we spending 1.7 trillion, that means we making 1.7 trillion.
You know what? I think about that all the time, man. I think about, you know, our conversations as black people around financial disparities, racism, all those type things, right? And they exist. They're there.
For sure.
But we in a different time, man.
Yeah.
And we have the ability to overcome so much more, bro. Like, but it's our decisions and it's our choices. We got the information at our fingertips.
Yeah.
You got people on social media who throw out buzzwords all the time. I can't tell you how many times I look up something just based off of what somebody said that sounded interesting.
Yeah.
And do my own fact check. And now I done discover something new. You know what I mean? We're in that time. Yeah. So I hate when people have those type conversations now and talk about how much the government got their foot on their neck, the white man got their foot on their neck, all that. And it's like the playing field is somewhat level at this point, man. And if we're not taking advantage of it, then who's the fault in the next 10, 20, 30 years?
This is my thing. I wouldn't even say the playing field is level, but you on the field.
We can play.
Are you in the game?
Let's say that.
Yeah.
We can play.
Are you in the game?
That's the question.
Or are you just doing a lot of thumb wrestling? You know, for instance, I was just at yesterday, I helped out with Officer Eddie Hawkins at the No Excuses. They had a scholarship combine.
That's dope. A scholarship combine. So what did that look like?
A bunch of volunteers, adults helping kids fill out for scholarship. Our kids.
Oh, that's hard.
Black kids.
Really?
Yeah. And we had a lot of kids come through too, and parents.
That's dope.
But it was so many more that wasn't there.
Yeah.
And these the same parents, same kids that be online saying the government got a foot on my neck.
Yeah.
But I want to say Officer Hawkins told me $1.6 billion in scholarships don't go accounted for every year.
Wow.
1.6 billion.
1.6 billion. Wow.
But we spend all our time on the video games, on social media, in the club, in the malls.
Wow. You know, and that's interesting too, man, because, you know, I work in the school system, and
sure.
I see it. I see opportunities all the time, man. And we send out information. I see administrators send out information. Half of it don't come back, or it's like people don't react until it's over, until it's not there anymore. You know what I mean? And it's like, you had the opportunity. Like, it's like, you know.
It's not a priority.
It's not a priority, man, until it affects your pocket so much to the point, you know what I'm saying, where it's like, but I you know, I didn't, all these excuses. And it's like.
And it's because we're not sitting our kids at those tables. Yeah. A lot of these kids don't even know how much college costs. They want to go to college. You know, they want to play the sports. They want to do this. And don't get me wrong, college ain't for everybody. Yeah. But a lot of these kids don't know the direction to the trades.
Yeah. Yeah. Real talk. That either.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's our job to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I give a lot of my time, and like I said earlier, time is our biggest asset,
Mm-hmm.
to helping the next generation, to guiding them. It ain't always about, oh, you got to be my client, what you paying me.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, let me make sure these kids, if my daughter bring home one of these young boys 10 years from now and say, I want to marry him, he's a solid kid. He got a head on his shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
who has been guiding him to where he trying to go.
Yeah.
So that's the thought process is we got to get back to that village mentality and accountability. And these parents, they have to start letting the village raise their kids as well.
Yeah. And not being so insecure about what somebody else may teach your kid that you wasn't able to teach your kid. Man, it's not even about that. Like, I don't know how many times I have reached out to different people to help coach or mentor my son or my daughter in certain areas. Like, we just got to look at it. There's just certain things that we just don't know.
That's it.
I don't know, like, for years, like, so my son was a baseball player.
Right.
And I coached him from T-ball all the way up until just before high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At that point, I don't know baseball.
That's it.
You feel what I'm saying?
I got you as far as I could get you.
I get you as far as I can get you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we got to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be that coach in the stands all the time, man, for our kids' whole life, man. We can't. So I totally get that. But so you that's a good transition to the philanthropy part of your lifestyle, man. Like, I've over the years I've watched you and I've seen you be a part of some great organizations and some great causes. What you got going on these days?
Man, so right now, I sit on the board of the Dad Initiative, Talbert House Foundation,
nice,
the Winton Woods Achievement Boosters, and I sit on the board of the PTA.
That's dope.
Oh, for sure, man.
That's important too.
Yeah, it's the community. Yeah, man. And that's why, a lot of times I say I'm Uncle Say, because these are my kids too. Yeah. All of the kids, these my kids. We got to make sure that they're able to get to that next level. Like you just said, it's Jay-Z once said, what's that in the All the Way Up remix? I'm the only one in the room that they fear right now. It's about being able to have access to these boardrooms so I could open the door for the future behind me.
Absolutely.
I was telling my nephew a couple weeks ago, I volunteer, I sit on these boards so that all y'all have access to opportunities I didn't. Yep. Sitting on these boards, I get to see and hear about other things that ain't in the hood.
And what's to come too.
Yeah. So I can say, hey, get ready for that. I know you're interested in this. I know somebody connected to this door. Let me put you in front of this door and you walk through it. And if you out here wilding, if you on social media with the gun fingers, and I'm not putting you in front of the door
at all,
because I'm putting my name on it, and this is my brand. So that's something I say. And to anybody that's watching, if you got a legit youngster that's trying to do something, it's my job to put them in front of the door, to get them access to opportunities we didn't have. It's my job for them to see me at events volunteering, doing stuff, so they can say, I seen a black man there. It was a kid yesterday at the scholarship combine, helping him fill out scholarships. I seen his last name. I said, it's your people. I grew up in Moosewood. You connected to the such and such in Moosewood? Yeah, that's my family. What's your first name? Your daddy such and such. Yeah, your mama such and such. I grew up with him. Hey, tell him Uncle Say helps you out, do this, and I knew when you was born. I seen you as a baby. Yeah. And now the full circle, you here as a 18-year-old basketball star filling out for scholarships, and I'm helping you.
It make you feel good, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what the community's supposed to be. That's the village right there.
Yep.
You know? So that's what it is, man.
That's what's up. So I tell people all the time, man, a seat at the table is the best place to be, man. But you got to recognize that you got that seat.
For sure.
Because there are some opportunities that's not as popular, that is not, glamorous. And you're looking at it like, man, why am I doing this? Or, man, I ain't got time for that. But what you don't realize is you got a position there.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And by you being there, you getting access to everything that is to come and everything that is sitting right now, bro. And you, like you said, you're able to pass those opportunities off to students or kids that wouldn't even know about them.
And that's what we supposed to do. First and foremost is knowing and understanding your position.
Yeah.
You know, my position ain't out here marching and protesting.
Yeah.
I did that in my 20s.
Yeah.
You know, just because I'm not out here with the signs and protest, that don't mean I ain't active.
Real talk. That don't mean I ain't protesting.
Yeah.
It's a different type of protest.
I'm in a different space protest. We all got our roles and positions.
Yeah.
You know, a cornerback ain't play D-line. His job is the cornerback out here. The middle linebacker job is to see the field. Call out the plays we need to run to defend whatever's coming. We got to know our roles and stay in our lanes and respect everybody else in their roles, because at the end of the day, we still a team.
Yeah, real talk.
And the goal is still success. So I respect everybody in their roles and what they do. Whatever you're doing for the community that's positive and building.
Yeah.
And my goal is always, how can I connect? How can we make a link to where if a kid do come my way and they're not interested, I can always put them to you.
Yeah.
And I know you gonna carry them forward and not destroy them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's definitely the case.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, I certainly appreciate, man, just being a part of your circle. You know what I'm saying? That's important. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But I got some heavy hitters in my circle.
I mean,
though,
let's be clear. You a heavy hitter.
Hey, thank you, bro.
You a heavy hitter.
It.
So that goes both ways, man.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people ain't doing what you doing.
Yeah.
You know, you droning out here. Where are we at with the drones and that technology?
Yeah, true.
You know, there's so much opportunity moving forward. Don't you know, I was just reading something, and not to pivot, but the people that do the drones over in Iraq for the military, they sit right here on this land.
Right here.
In little cabins and whatnot, and control that from over here in the United States.
Yep. And that's one thing that I teach my students too. Whenever I do expose them to that technology, I let them know. You know, I bring up the videos and I show them. I'm like, this land is being protected from this space because of this technology.
Yeah.
Right? And this is like one of the fastest growing technologies out there.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? So I say, if you learn this now,
come on.
Oh, you're gonna be ahead of the workforce.
And a lot of times I tell kids, you 16, 17, dedicate. I tell them, you're gonna be younger, a lot shorter than you're gonna be older. When your younger years is 20. We can even shoot you up to 30. But you're going to be older from 30 to 60, 80 years old. That's a lot longer. You're going to be older a lot longer than you're going to be younger. Sacrifice a couple years so you can live good for that long amount of time.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm educating my kids, my own 3 children on. Sacrifice right now so that when you get my age, you possibly could be retired or already over the million mark, or already financially successful to where you're doing what you want and not what you have to do, and you can live life on your terms.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the goal. That should be every young person's goal, man.
For sure.
You know, I know a couple young people. I know at least three young people who are already set and on a upward trajectory to becoming a millionaire, and they ain't even 30 yet. And when I first discovered, I thought one of these young men, I thought had to be my age or close, right? When he told me he was 28, I was like, Get the heck out of here. Portfolio, real estate portfolio, investment. I mean, just diversified to the gills.
It's motivating. I love it.
I love it too. I love it. I'm like, and I asked them too, man, like, so what set you on this path and what keeps you from being like the rest of the early 20s, late 20s? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it boils down to their circles and what they were shown at a young age, man.
That's it.
Real
that
talk.
Exposure.
Everyone that I talk to and they own their stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they share with me, man.
They was exposed. And let's be clear, we know $1 million ain't a ton of money. We just throwing out a number.
At 28 years old?
Yeah.
or a projection to 40?
That's the goal right there. Journey. This is where he at on his journey.
Sheesh.
So, hey, it's about that financial discipline and consistency. We got to be consistent with what we do.
Yeah.
Because it's going to come a lot of times, something you want going to pop in front of your face. Shiny, glittery, looking real beautiful, and you got the money to get it.
Yeah.
What you going to do in those moments?
Yeah. You got to know that all that glitter ain't gold, and no gold can stay.
That's it. Hey,
that's
I'm focused. I'm trying to get somewhere. I can't do it right now.
Yeah. What's next? What you got coming up?
So on April 5th, I have a finance fair coming up. And this first ever finance fair. So what this is, it's going to be at the Red Door Church, Friday, April 5th from 5 to 8. The Red Door Church is on Smalley Avenue in Forest Park.
Okay.
Right off of 275. But it's a finance fair. So what it is it's for small business owners, entrepreneurs, whether you're a family, individual, but you're going to be able to come here and establish all of your financial relationships that you need. Bankers, accountants, bookkeepers. We're going to have lawyers there. We're going to have insurance agents there, financial advisors, grant writers.
Wow.
Just anything that has to do with finance for small business owners and entrepreneurs. It'll be a one-stop shop. Just something I have been thinking about for a few years. How do we get the ecosystem of entrepreneurs in the city to get access to all of their financial needs in one building? A lot of times I talk to people, I'm looking for an accountant. I need a bookkeeper. Man, I need a financial coach. I need to get a good bank. What bank should I go to? I need insurance, small business insurance. So the goal is to get all of those entities under one roof.
Nice.
So that everybody can come and you can go around the different tables and see, okay, well, this person can help me with my taxes. This person I could bank with this bank. And, the goal is to have some of the heavy hitter banks there as well.
Okay.
And even smaller banks, just knowing what is the difference between an accountant, somebody that does your quarterly taxes or annual tax filings, versus a bookkeeper that does your numbers daily on a daily basis that you meet with monthly, Just all of that is going to be under one roof. April 5th at Red Door Church in Forest Park.
That's dope. So is this for-profit, non-profit, or both?
Everything.
Okay.
I even told one of my guys, you might walk out with a board member.
Nice.
A lot of people that do run nonprofits, they want somebody that's in the financial industry on their board.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Oh, that's dope. Oh, yeah. I'll
sure.
definitely share the word about that.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Appreciate that.
That's dope. So financial fair, it's a financial fair, right?
Finance fair.
Finance fair, April
5th, Friday, April 5th at Red Door Church in Forest Park.
What time again?
From 5 to 8.
That's dope. Hey, that's one dope resource everybody got to check out, man. Nice. So, if someone wanted to reach out to you and talk to you, about financial planning or, kind of, getting an idea of where they are financially and, setting a projection of where they should be in the future, like how do they get to you?
My name, SavonGibsonSenior.com, www.savongibson GIBSONSR.com. They can set a schedule there, my schedule on there. They're able to go on there, see everything I do, what I've done. They can set up a time to talk, and we can figure it out.
That's what's up.
Yes,
well, man,
sir.
I appreciate you again, man, for sitting down with me, man.
Hey, I appreciate you having me.
This platform is all about inspiring and educating the community, man. I started doing this, as a way of, well, actually for clients who couldn't really, during the pandemic, couldn't get out and network or whatnot. So creating videos and having a conversation about what their businesses was or whatever. After creating a few, it was like, yo, I need to put this out to more than just your sphere of influence. Like this needs to be put out to the masses.
Everything.
Put out a couple videos and people like, yo, that was informative,
Yeah.
And it just clicked. So I figured like this is my contribution to community. So
that's
you know
beautiful,
what I mean?
man. That's beautiful.
So
I appreciate you having me, brother. Like I said, it's just as much as you big up everybody else, put yourself on that mountain too.
I appreciate you.
Because you're doing it, man. You're doing it for sure.
You. All right, bro. And so this is the Headshot Happy Hour Podcast. Your host, Shondell Thomas. Check us out on YouTube, the Headshot Happy Hour Podcast. Subscribe to the channel. Check us out. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Shondell Thomas Photography. Check us out. And we'll see y'all next time.